Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage. We are doing, now that it's warm out, we're gonna do one of our week in the life of, when it gets warm outside, our weeks can be very, very crazy. And we started doing these videos just to give a snapshot into all the stuff that doesn't really make it on videos all the time. So this week, we're talking through, it's Monday, we're talking through our week. We're having our so-called team meeting, if you wanna call it that, we're very corporate. And we realized we have a lot going on. So we have the Track T project ended up getting sold. That's going to the UK. So we have to work on getting that packed up and ready to ship overseas. We might have a picnic this week. It's at a friend's place to drive some old cars. Been working on Dorian Roadster, maybe take a drive in that to show you guys. We got some of the stuff working a little better in that car. And
engines, lots of engines to ship.
Yeah, we got engines to ship, engines to run, set up, and on and on and on. So we have all kinds of stuff going on, plus our normal just projects that we're trying to make progress on in between all of this craziness. So we'll take you along for a ride for a week in the life of with IronTrap Garage. So let's get started. All right, Monday, and we got all kinds of crap going on. The weekend's been crazy, so I got to clean up a mess here. My buddy Dan, who is a very talented woodworker, cabinet builder, and custom woodwork, I guess you could say, and he was building a really kick-ass table he's building for somebody, and he needed some metal legs TIG welded up, so he and I worked on that yesterday, and it ran into the end of the day, and you can see that I just left my mess, so I got to clean that up. Our buddy Chuck came by and dropped off some parts for us to borrow, Model A flywheel and some cap and rotor type stuff. We're trying to get rid of engines. That's the goal for this summer, is to get rid of some engines. So this is out of the ruined Roadster. This is the B engine that is already sold. We had a lot of messages about that. That's going to go on a pallet and go to New England. This is a Model A engine that we got in Florida that is pretty cool. It's got a Winfield head, dual carb, 81 Stromberg 81s on it, but it's somehow the cap and rotor was missing and the flywheel was missing. So we're going to get this on the run stand. Mike's got, we have an 8BA engine that we got at Carlisle from a viewer that sold us a bunch of stuff he had left over. We got that running. It's a little tired, but it's a good running engine. Mike had it up for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and we ended up selling that. And I think Mike's going to deliver that one day this week. So trying to get some engines jockeyed around and out of here because we're always tripping on engines. The other thing I got working on is we're working on the trunk popper for the 38 convertible. We got that pulled back into the shop. Steve's working on getting a fuse box in it and starting some of the wiring. Thing runs awesome now, so really it's just making it into a car. We're also going to, maybe if we have good progress this week, pull the dash and the garnish molding and get that all painted white. We're doing that GM white that I like so much, and the firewall is. So that's what's going on Monday. We'll see what happens and if we get everything we hope done. All right, it is Tuesday and stuff's just starting to get crazy. So we gotta go to the warehouse and move some stuff around. I got this thing, we got the trunk welded up. It is wavy as hell because we found all kinds of lead and smashed in area, but we got all the holes filled yesterday. Trunk popper work, that's gonna be a future video. I gotta clean up my mess. So what we're gonna do is run to the warehouse with the big red truck. I had literally just put all this extra tin from the upstairs in the back of the red truck to get it out of the way, and now it's in the way. So we're gonna take the big red truck. Dad and I are gonna go over and help Mike get the T loaded, and yeah, see how this goes, but see how this thing starts. Off we go.
That actually wasn't too bad, was it?
No, I'm tired of moving that tin.
We should have done this a while ago.
A long time ago. This is we moved this tin.
A lot.
I think that the old tin, might be my 5th time moving it because I moved it the first time by myself.
Yes.
And there was a lot more. So, but we have to get it out of the way because we need the T to go in the back of the big red truck so we can get it back to the shop, get it packed and ready for the transporter to pick it up and send it away to England. There she is, hiding in the back corner. A warehouse find, it's now considered.
Yeah, exactly. Not a barn find.
A warehouse find.
So John had this covered with skids for a long time, so no one even knew it was back here. But he had moved everything so we can get this sucker out of here. And then we got to fill it full of parts. Yeah, so that's some of the parts here, and then I got a whole cart filled. All right. It rolls really nice though, I will say that.
Some guy took the time to blast everything and get it all rolling nice and put new kingpins in.
Yeah, who was that guy?
I don't know. Heck of a guy.
going forward or backwards?
I don't know.
It doesn't really matter.
It weighs nothing. Yep. Keep going, keep going. Open it up. Straighten out so it rolls easier. Hold on.
Yep.
So, you can come my way.
Well, this ramp's,
Oh,
just scoot that ramp over a little.
as long as it's on. Alright.
Need blocks or something to slow it down?
We can slow it down, it ain't heavy.
Ready? Hold on.
How are you on the back? I'm on the ramp over here. Just on the inside edge of it.
On the outside edge of this one, but it's getting better.
It's coming over.
Perfect. Couldn't have figured that out any better.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I think we're far enough in that the tailgate closed. Do you need a piece of wood? Chop it?
No, I'm gonna ratchet it with straps on. Just gotta pull the ramps back.
Alrighty, so we got the car here. We got to do some packing. So I got all these parts laid out on the floor here. Got to box them, put them in the car, saran wrap the crap out of it, and put it in. So let's get started. Alrighty, engine number 2 for the day. Got the B engine at the warehouse. I got to palletize it, ship it. This APA that we got at Carlisle sold locally, so I'm actually delivering it to the gentleman not that far away. So we're gonna load it up, toss in the truck, and that's it for me today because I'm gonna drive about to Hershey to drop it off. So engines, engines, engines. And I think we're gonna put the Model A engine that we have on the run stand too this week. If Steve's not too busy. Today is a new day.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday. So yesterday was a very chaotic and stressful day for, I know for me, I don't know about everybody else, but it definitely was for me because we had a lot of stuff going on. So we sold the track tee. A gentleman from England had reached out to us that he was interested in the car. I don't know, was it a month or two ago? 2 months?
2 months ago we did a podcast where we mentioned.
Oh yeah, that we were selling it, and he had reached out. So for that past 2 months, we've been going back and forth to him. He's been ordering parts online to put in the car. We've been gathering parts he had for his wish list. And finally, we were ready to ship the car. And kind of like it always happens when we sell cars that get shipped, it's like a whole lot of soon, it might ship, we don't know. And then it's like, tomorrow at 9 a.m. they're going to be here. And we're like, oh crap. So
surprisingly, the shipping company was very punctual and showed up on time.
we had the shipping company was very good this time, which they're usually not. So yesterday, Mike and Steve were wrapping the car. I got a phone call last minute that we needed, some of the paperwork was different than we thought it needed to be, and we had to scramble around and get all that together. We had to give it to the driver, which we don't always have to do. And, you know, amongst other phone calls and things blowing up. My father was here helping out, and he was working on the forklift, so we'll walk out and talk about that in a second. Everybody asked about that stupid forklift. Yeah, so basically all I got done yesterday was drilling one hole.
Matt mounted this all day, 8 hours.
I mounted a flathead valve spring with a threaded insert so that the trunk popper would work, which is coming in an upcoming video. Maybe it already come out yet.
It already came out.
It already came out. So you guys seen this. You know what happens. So that's that. And yeah, Steve's going to continue on wiring hell. Looks like the forecast is really crappy for the rest of this week. So our picnic, our friend Zach has a little private picnic at his place. It's not looking great for the weather. So we might take the DeLorean Roadster for a drive today to show you guys the overdrive setup, because we've been getting a lot of questions about what's going on with that. So I'll show you that a little later. Walk out, show you the forklift, and then we're going to get to work for the day. All right, so I don't say this often, this is probably one of the only bad purchases I've ever made in all my years of buying and selling and doing.
And of course, it's the biggest one.
Yeah, biggest, heaviest one. So we bought this forklift at a property where I got my mill, and they got it running and driving, but it was definitely a worn out old forklift. And then it sat for a whole winter, and then the next spring we went to start it, and the thing wasn't starting. The big problem we had from when we got it from the estate and we're using it a little bit, the starter started to grind and just be like, we couldn't get the starter to work. I took the starter out and took it to a local starter and generator place, and we maybe started it a couple times and then started doing the same thing again. So yesterday my father was trying to diagnose the forklift. He used to be an equipment mechanic on big equipment, so this type of stuff is, you know, the world he lived in. He wanted to be useful yesterday. He was tired of sitting around telling me what to do. So he dug into the engine. We got spark again. We actually found out that one of the reasons this thing was probably running poorly was it was a positive. They had the coil wired like it was positive ground, but the forklift is now 12 volt negative ground. So I noticed when my dad was messing with that, we were getting a weak spark, and the wires were switched on the coil. So we switched them around. We got a good spark. And then the starter was acting up again. So my father took the starter apart. That was redone. You could see they put a new drive on it. And it sat out in the rain last night, because you know where this is going. So my dad took the starter apart. He looked at it, and basically the guy that did the starter replaced the drive and the brushes and nothing else inside. So it's all worn out inside. It was all pitted, and where the brushes ride, it was all just pitted and crappy. And it was like totally worn out, almost smooth in there. You're supposed to see the cuts in the copper, they were almost down to nothing. So he sanded it and tried to get it good. We put it in. It cranked the engine for, I don't know, a few seconds. It almost fired, and then it started grinding and burning out again. So this thing is just basically worn out. Unfortunately, it's an obsolete starter. So this forklift was 6 volts. So I'm rolling the dice, and we just want to sell this thing. I just want to I want it off the property. I'm almost ready to just offer it for free. We just want to get it running and off the property. So I rolled the dice. I ordered a starter that's 12 volt for like a couple years newer than this forklift with the same engine. I'm hoping that it bolts up. But that's where we're at on this thing. It probably would run and move, but this starter issue since we got the thing has been a problem, and now the starter is just totally junk. So until we get that done, we're either going to give it away and somebody's going to haul it off, or we're going to cut it up with a torch and scrap it. I don't really know yet, but it's kind of a bummer because we need it out of the way. I'm tired of looking at it, and it's way too big for my property. So that is the downside of yesterday. My dad's like, yeah, this thing's junk. So we're going to go up and shoot a podcast, Mike and I, this morning, and then we'll take the DeLorean for a ride and get some work done in the shop.
In those days, you were manic with auctions. He would be like, I'm leaving work a little bit early to go to an auction, and then there's another auction on Saturday.
Don't let anybody from Eastwood don't listen to this.
You don't work there anyway. It's been years, so it doesn't matter.
I used to ditch out of work all the time to go to auctions. I don't care. You guys.
Yeah, but it'd be like I'd help him because I work night shift, so sometimes he'd be like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I get done my weekly shift. He'd be like, "You want to help me go pick up all this random shit I bought at an auction a couple hours away?" So I go and help, and just be like, "Dude, you get to his house, and there was his old place. There was just like stuff everywhere because you were running an antiques business too for a little bit, buying."
I'm glad that I caught myself because with buying and selling, you can get out of control.
Especially at farm auctions, because some stuff just goes for like
so cheap.
$1.
All right, so it is Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, and our week plans have kind of changed. Our friend Zach has a picnic at his house every year, and it looks like it's going to rain. We've been working on getting the DeLorean car ready. Steve and I have been, since we got the car back, we've been trying to kick butt on this thing and work out a lot of the bugs. And I feel like almost every week we've been like, I drive it, then we pull it in, we do a change. So one thing we found on this thing that we're going to leave go for this summer, we had some noisy lifters on this thing, and we never really checked them when we ran them on the run stand. So last week, I think you pulled it apart.
Yeah.
So Steve pulled it apart last week and went through all the lifters. They were all a little on the loose side, but there was one that you found that was.
Yeah, there was no tension on the self adjuster. It was just all the way in against the body.
Yeah, so he had a pretty big gap on the one lifter, and that was probably our noisy one. We tried peening the threads a little bit and putting some Loctite on them, but even after me driving it another 100 or so miles, it's noisy again. It's not really, the engine runs fine, it's just noisy. It's annoying to me or us when we drive it that it's a little noisy.
Happening.
So we're going to leave it alone because really what we have to do is pull the head on the other side, pull the adjustable tappet out, and put a new one in. So for now, we're going to leave it alone. If we start noticing that it's making the thing, like a miss on that cylinder or something, we'll have to address it. So we got to put the hood on today. We got the Columbia working with the hand-operated Columbia. So we put this linkage in here, and we're having some problems where we weren't getting enough throw. It would seem like on the jack stands we had enough throw, but when you were driving it, it was just not quite enough, and it was bouncing it out of overdrive. So Steve and I, on the lift, we have a little cover in the back / wheel steel. We would engage it. Steve would grind it, put it back on, grind it, put it back on. So we did that a bunch of times, and now finally it works pretty good. It's still at the range of just barely having enough throw, because even now in low, you got to make sure you hold it in low so that it engages. But it does work. So we proved that we copied the linkage off the Fred Steele car, famous East Coast car, and the linkage is very similar, and it works great. So we're going to throw the hood back on and do a couple little things on this today. And then Steve's working on some wiring on this car. You can see he's got wiring that he's just starting to loom under the dash there. We got a fuse box, and he's got a terminal box there that he's mounting everything. So he's getting it all ready for the those retro gauges, which we have here. And then I've been working on, well, both of us kind of worked on. Yesterday was a messy day. We ended up blasting a bunch, which was not fun. So I did a bunch. I did a bunch of blasting, and then I punished Steve with doing the garnish molding and blasting. But I laid a little bit of filler on the dash just in a couple little spots where I welded, and from punching the holes was just a little low or wavy. And this dash is pretty much, I blocked it out okay, and it's pretty much ready to put in primer. So that's our goal for today. In between the raindrops, hopefully today and tomorrow we can get the dash and the garnish all primed and painted, and that'll be an upcoming video. So that's what's going on in the shop on Thursday, and yeah, we'll see what we can get done today. Got your half?
I got this half.
I don't know if it's evened out, so once we get it on there, we have to slide it a little bit. That's one of the problems. You got to tap the.
Yeah, push the chrome back a little bit there. On the mallet?
Yeah, we need one.
Let me see. Yeah, I got one there.
Yeah, everything's just so. Move your hood.
Red one's a soft one.
Actually, pick it up.
Yep.
Let it down just a little bit. Yeah, that's part of it. My side was too far back.
It's pushing, but pushing it back. There it goes. Yep, pretty good there.
It may look fairly even. We may have to tap it a little more.
Yeah.
And get that other one in and see. Considering how hard this, I mean, remember when I got this hood, it was so rusted, it was like not
Horrible.
even, didn't even remote. The first time we set it on the car, it was like, this isn't even for this car.
No, right, yeah, it didn't even.
Wasn't even close. Yep.
Alright.
All right, so we had a crazy week. Unfortunately, ended up raining a bunch of the week, so we ended up skipping out on our buddy's picnic on Friday and worked in the shop, and pretty much most of the weekend it rained too. So that was last summer as well, but we got a lot of cool stuff done, got a lot of progress on projects. Even though it was raining, we kept moving forward, and we got a bunch of stuff done on the 38, and yeah, so it was a pretty eventful week, and then 99% of this stuff is stuff that would never make the videos, so that's why we decided to do these. So hope you guys enjoyed it. A week in the life of in the spring in IronTrap world. Thanks guys, catch you later.